Welcome, Elgin Park, to this interview with the lovely Julie Wang. We'd like to welcome her. She's a former student at Elgin Park, flute player. She's a UBC grad. She's an entrepreneur. She is the City of Surrey Women in Business Awards Emerging Leader finalist for 2020. She's a dog enthusiast, and she's an all-around great person. Please welcome Julie Wang. How are you, Julie?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for agreeing to do this. And I have to say right off the bat, this is my first Zoom interview, so please be gentle.
For sure.
So I'll get things started. The first question is, please give an overview of your educational journey and the career you plan to build from here.
For sure. So like Mr. Leeder was saying, I did go to Elgin Park. I graduated the year of 2013, I believe. And then on that September, I started at the UBC Sauder School of Business. And I was there for 4.5 years until I graduated in 2018. And that's when I started my own business, Tiny Planet Digital, which I'm now working on.
Excellent. Now, how many people work with you? Do you have a staff of people?
Yeah, so I work with a team of 7 people usually, and sometimes it's bigger depending on the projects and how busy we are.
Right. And describe a typical day in Julie's life.
Yeah, for sure. It's very varied, which I do enjoy. So I usually wake up around, 8 o'clock, sometimes 9 o'clock.
Whoa.
I know. Depending on if I have meetings. If I have meetings pre-scheduled like this one, then I have a pretty structured day. If not, I try to, tackle my to-do list, which is always very long now that our team is growing and the business is growing. So yeah, every day is a little bit different. Sometimes I'll be working on client-related items, so servicing what the client wants, answering their questions, addressing their concerns, dealing with accounting, payment, and taxes. Other days, I'd be training my staff to do different activities, asking them if they have any questions. And other days, I could be watching webinars or reading just to learn about new industry trends and news.
Huh. Very interesting. Now, tell us about the people that are working for you. Who are these people? You don't have to mention their names, but where are they around the world? Are they in Surrey as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so most people I work with are Vancouver or BC based, with the selection few who are based in the US or the Philippines that I outsource to. But primarily I find people I work with through networking, word of mouth, referrals, and I believe a few of my team members will also be on interview calls with Mr. Leeder, namely Sissy and Amy. They work on the creative projects for my company.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they're all former band students, so that's
they're great workers.
Those are great workers, those band students. Okay, so our next question.
Yeah.
What are the soft and hard skills of a digital marketing strategist?
Mm-hmm. So let's start with the hard skills, because I think it's easy to kind of describe here. So the hard skills would be having a good understanding of the marketing and sales process in order to guide clients in making the right decisions for their business. So having an understanding of, overall, how does business work and how that influences your client's business operations. And with that knowledge and experience working with more clients, you can guide them in, choosing how to spend their money, how to structure their company, how to move forward with, especially for us, their digital marketing strategy. And in terms of soft skills, I would say just a lot of people skills. Most of the day I'm talking to people. I am Mr. Leader would be surprised by this, but I'm on Zoom calls for up to 6 to 8 hours a day, just talking to people. And sometimes by the end of the day, I finally understand his thing about losing his voice and yelling, because I'm not even yelling. And by the end of the day, I lose my voice. So just talking to people, being empathetic, understanding, what they need help with, alleviating their fears. A lot of, with COVID nowadays, things are very uncertain for a lot of business owners. So knowing that you are a reliable partner that they can work with and helping them understand that is really important. But to be, I guess, overall more specific, if you do want to go into the digital marketing field, you see that as a career, there are a lot of different kind of specializations you can go into if you want to look into the hard skills for that. And there are kind of training boot camps or academies that you can pay for to get specialized in these skills, such as Brain Station, or there's diploma programs at BCIT where you can sharpen your social media skills, you can sharpen your design skills, you can sharpen your website development skills, as an example.
Very interesting. Now, can you talk a little bit about the Tiny Planet Digital, your company, and how you founded the idea?
For sure. So people ask about the name a lot, and I have spoken about this in depth in other
So it
interviews.
should be very easy. This should be an easy one for you to answer.
Yes, I've spoken in depth about this in other interviews and podcasts I've done. Truly, I don't think a business really needs a name to start. I just always want people to get started, take action, and move forward with what they have and see what they can do out there. So what I did is, with other fellow Elgin graduates, such as Sissy and Amy, we sat around in a circle years ago, and then we just yelled out words until we found something that sounded okay. So that's how actually Tiny Planet Digital, the company name, came about. And, because it is a small business and I'm the owner, I truly want the business to, be an extension of myself, my values, and my beliefs. So we try to work with sustainable and impact-driven businesses to make a difference in the world.
Right. Well, I could add another thing about that. It is a tiny planet, and especially in the world using technology like this. Although we're literally a few blocks from each other right now, I could be on the other end of the world and having this very same conversation with you, and technology makes that happen. So I think your name is very on point, if that's the way the kids would say.
Thank you.
So what are the challenges you face in business in the world today, and how you conquer these obstacles?
So recently, I would say most of the challenges I'm facing are more internal. So I think initially when you start your business, there's a lot of external friction. Like, how do I get clients? How do I get people to pay me? How do I advertise for myself? A lot of that is external work. But I've gotten to a point in my business where I've got that all settled, whereas most of my challenges are internal, where it deals with how I see myself and my assumptions of the world. As an example, compared to other business owners, sometimes I feel that I'm too young and people don't take me seriously. But, I actually conducted interviews with my clients to ask them, like, do you care that, I'm younger? And turns out people do not care. And rather, they see it as a positive attribute because they feel like you're young and with the times.
Right.
So I would say that a lot of the challenges I'm trying to overcome right now pertain to, what's in my own head. And what's been really helpful with that is I actually hired a business advisor or business coach, however you want to spin it, that works with me on these kind of challenges.
Right. Now, this coach, is this somebody who would advise anybody who is interested in having this kind of coaching, or is it they would coach a person in business and personal life and all kinds of different things?
Yeah, so there's a ton of people that do this out there, but my specific business coach, he does business advising and career. So we work on a lot of like sales plans, marketing plans, setting goals, and tracking results, and working on these challenges or obstacles I face.
Right. Interesting. Now, what motivated you in the first place to pursue business?
Yeah, in a really short answer, just to prove I could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I felt like at the time, I know it's gonna make me sound really old, but at the time while I was going to school at UBC, digital marketing, especially with social media, was just starting to pick up. Instagram was becoming really popular. Snapchat was really taking off at the time, and I just felt like it was an industry that I'm interested in because it's new, it's always changing, it's exciting. And throughout my time in university, I freelanced as a marketing consultant. I worked with various clients. I worked at other agencies to get experience. And I thought, I've worked at these places. I bet I could make my own place to work at too. So I just felt like I had nothing to lose and it's definitely something to try. So I went for it.
Now, would you see a time in your life where you would go and work for somebody again, or have you been so happy with the experience that you couldn't go back to working for another person?
That's a very good question. I think as of now, it is challenging for me to think about, working within a company, but, never say never.
Yeah, well, and you do work for your clients, so
Mhm.
you are working for them in a way, but to be able to call your own shots versus somebody saying, okay, now you should go over here and
Mhm.
talk to this person. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And I think, Mr. Leader kind of knows me, but in my personality, I just can't follow instruction or listen that
Oh,
well.
oh, believe me, I know this.
I know. So
I'm
I
very
think,
well aware of this part of you.
yeah, I know. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any tips for prospective solder students, people that plan on pursuing business also?
Yeah. So I think something to realize that is going to business school, the education, the experience, and the skill set you come out with is really quite general. Think of it as an introduction to business, understanding how economics works, understand how accounting works, what is finance, what is real estate,
Yeah.
and just understanding all these different parts of business. But when you do come out and want to specialize in a particular field, such as myself in digital marketing, a lot of the hard skills and the nuances will need to be learned on the job through internships or some practical experience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, would you say that uh, there's an advantage to people going to solder versus other business schools, or as like you say, any business school is going to give you the same basic core of knowledge, and then it's what you do after it with the contacts that you make in the school that is important.
Mhm. That's a very good question. It's hard for me to answer because I don't have experience going to other schools. But I do think that if you are trying to move into research, UBC has a very robust marketing research program, as well as other recruitment projects from larger companies. But I think once you get to solder, and a lot of people do when they realize is they always emphasize like you need to network, you need to get involved, you need to participate. So a lot of the schooling is done outside of the classroom, or that's what they encourage. And I think most people, especially students, when they first get in, you're just trying to join the clubs, you're meeting people, and you're not really sure, what it's all for, when it's all meant to be. So I think it's helpful to understand that you're just trying to build your own business network, and it's really about the relationship you build and the people you meet. As you know, in business, a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's so important. That's such an important lesson, a life lesson, really, because it doesn't matter what you're talking about, whether it be pursuing sports or pursuing business or becoming a teacher. Um,
Mhm.
like it's who you know and who can get you contacted with the right people and the right place
Mhm.
and timing.
Mhm.
Now,
Exactly.
now, do you have a mentor?
Yeah, I've had quite a few throughout my university years, whether that's someone that I've looked up to and asked them to be my mentor, or whether that's like a school program that pairs you up with a mentor. Um, yeah, I've had quite a few throughout my career, all kind of acting in different roles and with me in different ways. And yeah, they've been incredibly helpful. And I guess for students that are listening, don't be afraid to leverage your status as a student, because most people, they want to help students. They know you're learning. They know that you probably don't know much, and they're willing to help and try to, they probably see themselves in your younger self, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
for
people
sure.
like giving advice and helping you out. So do that as much as possible when you're a student.
Right. Okay. I have a few more questions for you. I hope you don't mind.
Cool.
Um, has COVID affected what you're doing right now?
So yes, it has. I think
I'm
COVID
sure.
has affected everyone.
Yeah.
So as the pandemic was kind of happening last year, there was a lot of uncertainty in the air and a lot of panic. So I did have a loss of revenue and clients at the beginning of the pandemic, because people are like, whoa, 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 we shouldn't be spending money on marketing,
Yeah.
given that we don't know what's happening.
Mhm.
But come probably May or June, starting last summer, actually business has really accelerated because of COVID actually. So now everyone really knows the importance of being online, the value of having that online presence, working with a digital marketing company to help them kind of get a foothold in the digital space. And business has been really good. Actually, because of COVID. And the government actually has started a lot of initiatives to support businesses. So now a lot of businesses that formerly may not have the cash flow to support online operations now are able to, and they can work with businesses like mine to service them.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, very interesting. That's awesome. Now look back in time, Julie,
Mhm.
back to your grade 10 self. And is this how you envisioned things going for you? Did you imagine going to business school? Did you imagine coming out, starting your own business? When you like look back to your grade 10 self.
Mm, it's a good question. I'm gonna say no. I remember when we did the planning 10, I think it's called career or something
Yeah,
else
yeah,
now. But they make you do some kind of career test,
yeah.
and I got tattoo artist. I don't
Which
know.
would have been a fantastic career.
I know.
I mean, looking at the popularity of tattoos right now, I'm sure you would have been very successful.
I know. But not that I thought that was what I was going to do instead, but I don't think I really expected myself to, be a business owner at this
Yeah.
age, have a team, and be able to do what I'm doing right now. And yeah, I'm surprised by where I am, but I also know I worked really hard to get here. Yeah, I would say that I was a little bit confused about what I wanted to do after high school. So, business school, I just thought was a general thing to do. And I think I got a lot of value and knowledge and friendship from it. And I'm glad I'm able to apply that
Yeah,
in what I'm doing now.
excellent. Well, I think you're not alone. I think a lot of people struggle with the choice of what area to pursue after high
Mhm,
school, and they feel
mhm,
a lot of pressure to have made these decisions already, and if they haven't made the decision, they might feel as though they're somehow behind. But
mhm,
it's always been my experience that um, the more life you can experience, the better qualified you are for making a decision as important as what are you going to do for your, for the rest of your life. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And I think in talking to Mr. Leader, he's always said, you can always go back to school, you can take a break in between. And I think at the time when I was at Elgin, I didn't really understand that advice, but now I understand it a lot better. And, if you're really not sure about going to university or college, wait a year, it's going to be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's no race.
No.
There's no race. Now, Julie, what are you most proud of?
It's a very good question.
I didn't write that one.
I think I am proud of the person that I've become, since my band days, and really exploring the different opportunities that I am able to pursue and taking advantage of these opportunities, like going to university, starting my own business, and managing a team. These are all like really new, and I feel like I'm always pushing the limits of what I can do, what my potential is, and challenging myself to grow bigger, be better, be stronger, and whatnot. So that's definitely something I'm really proud of. But like in my introduction, I was also a finalist in the Surrey Board of Trade Women in Business Awards in the Emerging Leaders category. So that's definitely a big achievement for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other kind of achievements that happened pretty recently in this year is I started doing speaking engagements as a digital marketing expert to help people understand how they can apply their businesses online. So I did a series of workshops with a lot of nonprofits this year. So that's something I'm really proud
That's excellent.
of.
Now, I think this might be our last question.
Mhm.
And you've probably answered this in many of the questions that you've answered so far. But what is one tip you could give students who wish to find success, whatever it might be in, whatever their professions that they plan on pursuing? What's a tip that you like, a general tip that you can give these students
Mhm.
going forward?
Yeah. So it would definitely be like try it, like as simple as that is, but you won't know if you like something or not unless you give it a try and figure out, do I like it or not? Am I enjoying it? Am I passionate about it? So as an example, I did an internship um, for a finance company, and I absolutely hated it. But when I was in university, everyone was like, a career in finance makes the most money. It's prestigious. Everyone wants it. But after I was like really keen on following that path because it seemed so cool at the time. But I did an internship for like 1 month and a half and I just hated it. So I knew it wasn't for me. And without doing that, I probably would have just followed what everyone thought was cool.
Right.
So yeah, my recommendation is to try it for yourself and see how you feel about it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that is very sage advice for sure. And I've enjoyed our conversation today. And I would like to thank you for supporting our Careers Week event. This video will be posted online for students to have a look at any time.
Cool.
And yeah, so I think you're going to help out a lot of people by this little bit of time that you give us. So thanks very, very much, Julie.
Yeah, no problem.